Miss South Africa contestant Chidima Vanessa Onwe has become a topic of hot debate in the country. Some netizens are calling for her to be removed from the pageant after she disclosed that her father was Nigerian and her mother South African with roots in Mozambique. Her participation in the pageant has been embroiled with both support and criticism. This also sheds light to the country's deep-rooted history of xenophobic violence and discrimination, mainly towards African immigrants. The pageant organizers have confirmed that the 23-year-old has met all criteria and she is eligible to contest the beauty pageant. However, the cries are getting louder to have her removed, citing she is a foreigner and not a South African. Prominent politicians were also involved in the discussion. The recent remarks made a Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture has also added further controversy. Political party EFF and Action SA leader Herman Mashaba have also weighed in on the matter.
Adicina's incident has brought back xenophobia debate in the country. For the past couple of days, there has been heated debate on social media platform on whether Adicina should be allowed to continue to participate for Miss South Africa or not. Some South Africans claim she is a Nigerian and she should be disqualified from the pageant immediately. Others have supported her, saying her mother is a South African and that makes her South African too. Political party Economic Freedom Fighters issued a statement condemning Afrophobic attacks on Adicina. The party says previous contestants of white and Asian descent did not face such scrutiny, so why should a black South African face such? Adicina herself has remained resilient, expressing her determination to use her platform to educate and unite people. This is Calden Ongmo from Johannesburg, South Africa. For We On, World is One.
Been a controversy over her emergence as Miss South Africa, according to many of her critics. They're saying that her parents are illegal immigrants. Her father is Nigerian, her mother is Mozambican. So many South Africans are saying she doesn't deserve to be Miss South Africa. She's not one of us. And many have agreed, others have disagreed. What are your thoughts? You think the issue of xenophobia is gearing its head again against this girl who obviously made all the physical requirements to become Miss South Africa? All excited, happy for her, because obviously she's a Nigerian through and through. Chidima Additional. Initially I was like, how is that possible? But obviously you understand that she's a mix of different cultures. But what are your thoughts when you heard this story? And because we've had a history of xenophobia in South Africa, where our brothers and sisters who live there have been threatened. Some have been killed just for being Nigerian. What are your thoughts when you read this story? Who would like to go first, Mariam?
Yes. So, of course, when I heard it, I thought it was, I thought it was going to be fantastic news all around Africa. Like, oh, this is one of us. We're happy to see that, we're being represented. And being that South Africa is like rainbow nation, and in my understanding is that, they're all welcome. You're from there, you have naturalized, you used to be a colonialist or whatever it is, white, black, whatever color you are, colored as they call them, you're all, South African. And so with Chidima, it came across as if the reason why she was being attacked was because of the Nigerian parts of her blood, As we know, as you mentioned earlier, Mariah, there's always been that rivalry between South Africa and Nigerians. So part of me was like, they're just hating. But now I sit down here in Nigeria and I'm wondering if a South African girl were to win Miss Nigeria, how would we respond? Will we be more accommodating? And to be fair, I think we'll be more accommodating, especially if we feel that her roots have always been here. In fact, we'll carry her on the head more than anyone. That's our style, I believe. So, it's interesting because the conversation is really, what people now start saying is, why is it that black Africans, we seem to hate on each other more? It is easier for South Africans to accept someone of, white descent, who you would see clearly white, but she's South African. They praise Charlize Theron everywhere across the world, Elon Musk. All those people are South Africans. But for some reason, they are more South African than this Chidima Additional Nigerian, Mozambican, naturalized South African.
What are your thoughts when you heard about this
It's just so that they will make sure she doesn't win that we're having this conversation, because she trended over the weekend. You know the way South Africans are wired. No apologies. They have their history. They have their history. We see them now. All of us saw the xenophobic attack and how they wired black on black hate. It's something that they are known for, and I think their government should be deliberate about working against it. This is one of such cases where if she were to emerge, it would be a South African statement to the world about their new stand as regards black on black hate. You know, it's important that they start to put out that narrative, that people start to see them differently. You know, South Africa is known for tourism. They're known for when they promote the beauty of their nation, how they promote and say they're accommodating. But we know tourism, of course, is a revenue earner for them. And they shouldn't just promote that side of them, with, you know, speaking with two sides of the mouth. Sometimes when you put a national event out, it's your PR to the world. Imagine a Chidima, because they are having the conversation, so me too now. Imagine a Nigerian winning that event, that pageant, and how it will go around the world for the proper PR South Africa needs right now. And I hope that the thinkers of the nation will see it that way. Any other way is just going to be endorsing the history, which I know and all of us have read and seen about South Africa. This is the time for South Africa to be deliberate about what they do, the organizers of that pageant, the government of that nation. This is the time. And this girl, boy, she's a beautiful girl.
Yes.
You know, she's a beautiful girl, and
she is.
She's gorgeous. Her mom is, you know, naturalized South African. I was just saying this morning, myself, Amaka, and Ogali were speaking and using certain words in English and interpreting it in a different dialect. And we had about 10 words that had common sounds, from my Esako roots to the Igbo to the Urobo roots of Ogali. And we called numbers, words, bags, names, and they were all similar. And I was like, if only these white people did not interrupt us, by now we would have evolved to a common language and word. And that language will be able to take ownership of it. But that interruption of it will be national. And that interruption cost us this, that we are now, everybody's still defending, and from here, and from there, and from that, and from that. Trade, intermarriage, and all of that would have made us one. Eventually, would have, you know, understood all the way to Ghana. Yeah, naturally. So we are one whether we like it or not, as Africans. And because time has interrupted us, we must now deliberately push out that thing that will foster us. You see today, there's a page I follow online, because these days to read news is a difficult thing. You don't want to be reading bad things every time. So I follow a marriage wedding page, and I see how every time in the UK, Nigerians who have lived there and raised kids there, they intermarry tribes that, if you had told my grandfather, they would have shouted, Ebuye. They would never allow it to happen. But now you see Nigerians marry the Zambians, Zimbabweans. They marry, in fact, there was an Iraqi-Nigerian marriage. I was in Iraq, Nigeria. I shocked. And they brought in their cultures. They, you know, and I love those two pages I follow, where they show those weddings and all of that. And they brought in those cultures. It was really beautiful to see. So give it a few years. When those people born children, will those children be deciding whether they're Iraqis or, you know, we would have evolved. And
to applaud and congratulate her for making the finalists. She's such a beautiful and gorgeous lady. Congratulations, and I hope you win the cup. But then I don't think this is about South African and Nigerian or black on black hate, because this is not the first time that they're having this kind of issue. In 2001, a Portuguese Angolan girl won the Miss African crown. Yes, the contest. And then she went through the same backlash and everything. So what we should be looking at is the fact that they don't really accept people. But then it's not for you to accept people of other immigrants from other places. For the fact that people are born, right, in a particular country, automatically that makes you a South African.